What's going on YouTube? It is WEBULL. Welcome back to another YouTube video. Wanted to share with you what I traded today, how I traded today, and what was the outcome. It was a very rough day for me. I lost about 10-11% on the account today. You know what? It's not that bad. 10% on the account is pretty much okay for now because my account size is very small. So 10%, I lost about $45-$50. Let me just pull up my WEBULL real quick and share with you what the account was at. Give me 1 second. Here we go. 11.24%, $45 was lost on here. I'm still okay-ish on the week, right? Actually, I'm right on the week, but I am only trading tomorrow, maybe Thursday, maybe Friday. We don't know. We'll see how the day goes. Just gonna open up my app real quick, and I'm wanna write this down because that is importante. It's important, it's important. Lost about something on the day, and you know what? I think in this app, I do genuinely need a journaling type tab where I can write my trades off and write my thoughts out and stuff, what happened today. But since I don't have that right now, I'm going to just kind of talk to you guys about what happened, what went right, what went wrong, and what was the game plan. So the first thing that went right is I kind of waited for my play. It was around this candle 12.55 and a fair value gap. You can see this right over here. The problem is, you see that huge red candle that came in? That huge red candle just knocked me out, and I lost a little bit more than I would have liked. Okay, I lost a little bit more than I would have liked, and I'm pretty sure my entry was on this candle right over here, as you can see, and my fill didn't happen up until 6:36.18. So that was another big problem with the trade I took today. And anyways, the first trade went red, and that's where you see the big chunk of the red that you see on my account is about $45. All right, so the second trade, so I took two trades today, right? The second trade, and this is something that I have to think about going forward, what to do. And if you have any suggestions as to what to do going forward, I'm all ears. Let me know in the comment section below what your suggestions are. So the first trade definitely went red, and I couldn't do anything about it. The profit was 1 to 3, but it just completely fell. But the first trade created a second fair value gap trade for me, which is this right here, which is marked right. Which is marked right over here, and my focus was, all right, it's gonna hit my 1 to 3 because I back tested it on that phone jazz, right? And it did hit my 1 to 3. It's just it hit it at 15:35. The market closed at 16 o'clock, right? The market closed at 16 o'clock. It hit around 15:35. Okay, so the big problem with this trade was I'll tell you, this is the candle I went in, the 14 o'clock candle. I went into puts, right? And then we see a huge jump, and at this point I was up 25% on my trade. I should have gotten out, but here's the thing. Now here's my whole dilemma right now, right? 25% is a lot of money, right? 25% is a lot of money, but I want to hold on my trades up until I do 1 to 3, only because that takes care of my future ones. But I'm having a hard time to hold to 1 to 3, if that makes sense. Anyways, I didn't hold my trades to 1 to 3. And after I was up 20%, I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and put a stop loss here, right? Let me go ahead and put a stop loss on break even. And at least that way I will not lose money if this trade just bounces back up and just goes up from here, right? What happened was it bounced back up. It stopped me out on this candle right over here at 14.15. And then it fell right back down all over again. And And at that point, I was a little annoyed. I'm like, all right, I could have made money on this trade, and my day probably would have been down, I don't know, like 2% or something, right? My day could have been down 2%. It's just on this trade, on the first trade, I gave a little bit more than I would have liked, only because of this big red candle. So I'm a little annoyed about that. So maybe going forward, the plan is to get out of 1-to-1. Maybe the plan is to just take your 1-to-1 take profit, and as the contracts increase, at that point, maybe just maybe at that point, maybe we can hold our positions at 1-to-2 and 1-to-3. But as long as we have one contract that we're trading with, which we are right now, we're currently trading with just one contract. We focus on solely 1-to-1. I mean, that's the only thing that I can think of, and just kind of grow the account, honestly, right? That's what my 2 cents are. Weird day for sure. I told you guys I'd share with you the good, the better, the bad, everything. And this is me being very transparent with you. I have 10 green days in a row, and this is my first red day, and lost about $45-50. Let's see what the rest of the week brings. I'm not too worried. The account's still very much alive. The position size is still very much alive. I'm not too worried. I'm still green on the month. I'm fine. I'm okay. But going forward, I think if something needs a little bit tweaking, is because take profit if you're up 25%, or at least 1-to-1. Just take your freaking profit. I think that's what's important. That way, you keep your losses small too. There was nothing that we could have done about the first trade, but on the day, our losses could have been a little bit more or less in comparison to minus 11% on the account. They were at minus 4% at one point. So that's something that we have to think about going forward. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I do plan on trading tomorrow. I'll let you know how the trade goes. And let's see if we end up the week on green. I mean, I'm fingers crossed, hopefully. I mean, there's still 3 more days left on the week, and if we can wrap this week up in green, it's going to be a good week. But if not, then it's okay. It's perfectly fine. We are still very much green on the month, and the account at the end of the day is growing, and that's what my goal is as of right now. Okay, that's all I have for you guys today. Have a great day. I will see you guys next Thursday at 5 p.m. Peace out.